So I'm going to start with a quote by Ernest Holmes from this thing called You. Get out of the shadows. Crawl out of your basement. Open the windows of your mind. Open the doors of your soul. So the talk title actually, when I first started, was supposed to be 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, Law number 2, Goals. And I thought, that just sounds boring. So I changed it. So what do you want to be when you grow up? Right? Because here's one of the first steps in the spiritual practice of imagination. It is a spiritual practice. Imagination and dreaming should be a spiritual practice. I think what happens is, for many of us, unless they were fortunate enough to go to a different school system than I did, daydreaming and imagining got trained out of us. We had to sit in a certain place. We had to pay attention. We had to color inside the lines, all to kind of shut down. And I don't believe it's the intention of our school system. I think it's the intention of how do you control 5- and 6-year-olds and keep them relatively sane for a period of time while I'm trying to teach them. I think that is ultimately why it was done. However, the outcome was kind of different. I believe that the outcome subconsciously is every single one of us was taught, don't daydream, don't imagine, it's a waste of time. It's not what you're here for. And that's sad, because I think it's the number one reason we're here. Do you know that every single one of us, I don't care what your ultimate intention is for your life, when you reach it, you're going to have another one. That is part of the human spirit. We're always growing. We're always evolving. It's not that we're not satisfied with what is. It's that our souls are explorers, and it's what's next. That is great. I love that. And what's next? And so how do you get back into imagining and dreaming? You give yourself permission. You have to give yourself permission. Set aside 5 minutes every day. We're going to do it here later on, so you're all going to get permission to kind of daydream in a little bit. But just imagine if you gave yourself 5 minutes every day just to do the what if. What if money wasn't an object? What if my age had no bearing? What if? What if? What if? All of those things that we put in front of ourselves that tell us we can't or we shouldn't or we won't. What if all that disappeared? Because here's the truth. In the infinite universe of the divine, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Those are human constructs that we put around each other. Well, you can't do that because you're a female. When you can't do that because you're a male, and you can't do this because you're old or you're young, or you can't do this because you haven't decided who you are yet. None of that matters to your soul. None of it. And so it really shouldn't matter to us when we are co-creating with God on who we want to be and how we want to show up. And so how do you embody that in your life? How do you become more adventurous with your soul? How do you let go of all those limits and all those walls that you've put up around yourself to protect yourself from all those people that have told you from a very young age, don't do that. Don't do that. Mary Morrissey in Prosperity 3, her son lived on Hawaii and married and 2 kids, and they lived in a house, and when I first saw a picture of the house, I went, that doesn't look like a house that belongs in Hawaii. You know, it was just a 2-story house. It was nice. It was not the kind of house I envisioned for Hawaii. I don't know what I think should be there, but I was like, okay. And he owned a piece of property. And he really wanted to build his dream house on this piece of property in Hawaii. But he kept telling his mother, and I can't imagine having Mary Morrissey as a mother, because she is the ultimate in co-creating with God, and she accepts nothing other than yes, you can. Does everybody know who she is? Okay, well, I would just, if you don't know who she is, she teaches this philosophy, or she did teach this philosophy. She was only under New Thought, not under the umbrella of Centers for Spiritual Living. And she is very, very good at co-creating a life for herself and teaching people how to do that, to get rid of all the places they're stuck. So that's what I meant. When you have a mother like Mary Morrissey, and then you walk in and say, yeah, I have this piece of property, but I'm never going to build on it. You know, she would probably say, like I would say now to my kids, yeah, and so it is. You believe it's not going to happen? It's never going to happen. So what she did was she said to him, how badly do you want to live on that piece of property? And he said, I really want my family to experience a house where the kids each have their own bedroom, and I have my office, and we have this ocean view. And she said, how often do you go visit that property? He was like, what? She said, how often do you go visit that property and stand in it and visualize what it would feel like to be in that house? How often? I'll start tomorrow. She said, no, I would suggest you start today. And you go every day. And you stand on that property. And you imagine what it's like for you and your family. So at first he started just by himself. He'd go out every day. He'd drive, and he'd stand there, and he'd feel at the very core of who he was what it would be like. He could see his kids running on the beach. He could smell his wife cooking breakfast in the kitchen and drinking coffee and looking out at the ocean. He lived it in all of his cells. And when he really started to believe, then he started to bring his family and have them share. So then he got really brave, and he put his house up for sale, because they were going to need some collateral to start building. And somebody came in and bought their house in 3 days. Scared him to death. Like, oh no, 3 days, I have no place to go. I haven't built this house yet. Perfect buyer. He was retiring. He wasn't ready to retire yet. You can rent the house back from me for 1 year. Same price that you're paying for your mortgage, so no increase to you. Win-win. You have to live your dreams. And sometimes that's hard, isn't it? Sometimes it's hard because sometimes we are so caught up in, this is what today looks like. This is what my eyes see, so this is reality. You know what they say about your subconscious mind? It doesn't know the difference. If you tell it its reality is this magnificent house built on the side of a cliff in Hawaii, and you imagine what that's like, your subconscious mind will start to feel that and know that's true and draw it to you. However, it's not going to happen if you don't use your imagination. Because here's the deal, and we teach this here. You do the whats. Practitioners, who does the house? Hello? Cynthia's laughing at me. Everybody, you're not even a practitioner. God does the house. You do the whats. You do the dream. So I have this dream, and it's not my dream. I'll say we have this dream. Some people are right on board. Some people are just like peeking over the wall with one eye going, yeah, maybe. Bea and Barb had that dream, and they donated a sum of money to Genesis so we could buy our own perfect home. So my dream is that we have our own perfect home. Now, I am not saying that this is not a great place to hold Sunday service. It absolutely is. And what I know is I would love to have a place where there's a big kitchen. So not only could we have like really a wonderful hospitality area where people could hang out after service. This is great. However, when we've got people hanging out here in hospitality having a good time, we've got practitioners over here praying with people. We've got a band that is doing a closeout song. So wouldn't it be nice if everybody had an area to play in? Wouldn't it be nice if we are saying that we want to continue this philosophy, so we want to attract young people? Wouldn't it be nice if we had a youth ministry that was bigger than a bread box? That's why I invited people to walk through Hope Christian yesterday. And some people showed up and they could feel what I was talking about. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. It's not necessarily that building. However, to catch that vision, to absolutely know that's a possibility. Because here's the deal. We have this much money in a CD, and there's buildings out there for sale. And in between here, that's God's business. That's where the magic happens. And it can't happen if we're not willing to step into what's the vision for Genesis. What does that look like and feel like? When instead of, and I love, absolutely love, we got to be grateful for what we have, do we not? I love that there were 3-4 kids here this morning. Love that. Wouldn't it be fun if Spirit House didn't have room on stage to stand on Sunday morning because there were so many kids? Did you hear me, Karen? Okay. She'll need help back there, by the way, when that happens. So that is to feel it. And when I mean feel it, if you are talking about your vision, your when you're using your imagination, if you're ho-humming it, step it up a notch. That's not your vision, right? If you're like, oh yeah, I'd like to go to Italy in 3 years. That'd be kind of exciting. It's like, no, I want to go to the Italian Riviera, and I want to walk between all of those towns that are built on the cliffs. I want to have coffee in every single town. I want to sit on a terrace and look out and breathe that in. I want to go to the place where my grandfather was born and find out what it's like to step on the soil where part of my ancestry began. There's a difference there. I got goosebumps because I could feel in my body what that would be like. That's what imagination does for you. And to reclaim that as a spiritual practice, oh my goodness. Think how powerful you are, and then step it up a notch. Step it up a notch. So your imagination is yours. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can say to you, oh, that's never going to happen. You're never going to go to Hawaii. Well, you guys could now because I shared it with you. And I'm just saying, most of the time when we're visioning, it's between us and the divine, correct? Absolutely. And so who's going to be your biggest pushback on your vision? You. You have the monkey mind of fear. That's all it is. And it is going to come up with some really, really what it thinks are valid reasons why you can't do what you say your heart desires to do. And so I was gifted this by John. John was here on March 31st, and he gave me this as a gift. So when your monkey mind starts to say, oh, you can't do that. Oh, blah, blah. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Just say, oh, excuse me. You know what? I'm busy right now. I'm going to have a meeting with you in 3 days. So on Sunday, next week, let's make it a whole week. On Sunday, the 21st, at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you come back and tell me all the reasons I can't do this. Right now, I'm really busy. Sorry, I don't have time. That's a magnificent way to trick your ego, because that's all that monkey mind is. It's your ego trying to protect you. Make a date with it. Don't say it's wrong. Don't say you're not going to listen to it. Don't ignore it. 'Cause anyway, with me, if I ignore my monkey mind, it gets a bullhorn. It really wants to be heard. Now, what I can do on Easter Sunday at 4 o'clock is I can say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I've got dinner guests. Let's do it out another week. Don't let yourself stop yourself. Goodness gracious, we have enough friends and family that are going to try to do that, right? We're going to have enough people that are going to throw down a gauntlet to tell you. So first of all, when you share your idea of who you want to be, what you want to do, make sure it's somebody safe. If you don't have anybody safe in your life, share it with a practitioner or minister. And watch them look at you and become your biggest cheerleader. Because that's one of the things we do. Watch them just go, oh, wow, that's magnificent. So I want you now to close your eyes for a minute, or a long time. I haven't decided yet. I want you to imagine clean slate. You woke up this morning and you didn't have any responsibilities. You didn't have your current job. In fact, let's pretend it's Thursday, April 14th, 2022. And you took my idea about creating your life in your imagination to heart. And you started doing that every single day 3 years ago. And when you woke up this morning, you were living, breathing that vision. You can feel it. Every cell of your body is going, oh, this is magnificent. How fabulous this is to be able to do this. How wonderful it is to be able to experience this. So what I want you to do when you're ready, without thought, I don't want you to think about, oh, I can't do that, or I shouldn't do that. I want you to free-form write as fast as you can. What does your perfect life look like in 3 years? Nothing can stop you. Not money, not a job, not a partner, not your health, not your age. Nothing can stop you. Who are you in 3 years? If you had an absolute blank slate, we doing? People need more time? Okay. Do you have a cell phone, West? Do you have a cell phone? Could you get me to the clock? We good? So there's two ways we can do this. I don't want to freak anybody out, so I'm trying to decide which works best. Oh, well, is everybody willing to play? Okay. I want you to find a partner, whether you know them or not. Find somebody. Everybody find somebody. Hello. Cynthia, you and I can do this. Oh, no, you two go ahead. You two go ahead. Yeah, okay. Does everybody have a partner? Anybody not have a partner? Kim, come on up with me. Thank you. And you can use your piece of paper, or you can just do this from your heart. So Kim, come on up with me. So this is what I'm going to want you to do. You can either physically stand up and do this, or in your mind, what I want you to do is turn to the left 3 times, and when you're back to center, it's now Thursday, April 14th, 2022. Hey, Kim. Oh, my God, I haven't seen you in so long. How are you?
Let me tell you.
Oh, let me go first this time, okay? Paul and I went to Italy. Oh, it was amazing. You should have been there. You and Tom really would have loved it. Met so many people. I met some of my family. Okay? So, decide who's A. A's going to start. Or I'll make it easy. Person with the longest hair is A. Okay? That way you don't have to oh, I don't know if I'm A or B. Don't want to waste a lot of time. And so I'm going to time you. You're going to have 68 seconds to share with this person from your heart what your life is like 3 years from now. Why 3 years? Because if I told you do this in a year, your ego would automatically say back to me, yeah, no, that's not going to happen in a year. If I say 3 years, your ego's like, 3 years, that's a long time. Lots could happen in 3 years. Okay? If you want to stand up and physically move around, please feel free to do that. If you want to kick the chairs around, do that. They're movable. Okay. When you're ready, A, turn around 3 times. And Thursday, go. Screwed up. Sorry. Come on up here, Kim. Sorry. I'm sorry, Kim. I don't know how to use his timer. It's got 3 on here. I don't want any hours. You can do it. Shit. Yeah, just we'll let them go.
Okay.
And you can do it again because I don't need to do it. Yeah, I don't get it. See, it goes there. I don't know what this is. I should have done stopwatch. I'll give him a little bit longer. having fun. Good. I think that's a minute. I know, but I let them start a little bit early, but that's okay. We'll stop. But they started before when I was fussing with the clock. Just do the 68. All right, stop. All right, clap. Yay, that was fabulous. Okay, bees, turn around to your left 3 times. It's Thursday, April 14th, 2022. Tell them about your life.
I already have vertigo. This is not good. Okay, let me tell you. Yeah.
Hi, Kim.
Oh my gosh, you would just not believe I'm living the life of my dreams right now. I am traveling. First of all, I have found a place to live part-time in the winter, home of my dreams with a group of like-minded people. There are so many things we're doing. We're traveling as groups. We're doing crafts and everything that I love, sports, and my body. I am in perfect health. I have more energy than I absolutely know what to do with. I am spending, when I'm not traveling and I'm with a wonderful group of people, wonderful friends, I am volunteering to my Queer Hearts.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure who I'm volunteering for. I don't have a specific group, but whatever I'm doing, I will be like, this just feeds my soul.
Wow, nice.
Feeds my soul.
All right. Please be seated. So how was that? Yeah. Why aren't we doing that every day? Yeah. Okay, you could get dizzy. You don't have to turn around. Every day, if you just spent 5 minutes, we've all got 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your lunch just to set aside, close your eyes, and put yourself in your perfect life. You do the what's, God will do the how's. That's how it works. And so again, as Ernest Holmes would say, get out of the shadows. Crawl out of your basement. Open the windows of your mind. Open the doors of your soul. Truly be who you've come here to be. So let's pray. Mother, Father, God, Spirit, right here and right now, I feel the energy of this community. I know everyone here feels that magnificence, that knowingness that they are part of something bigger than themselves. I know that power, that presence that is God, as I choose to call it, lives and breathes and has its existence in and through and as all things everywhere. So certainly as me, certainly as everyone here. And so in this energy of excitement, in this energy of possibility, I claim right here and right now for every word that was spoken, and so it is. And so it is, every word, and so it is. Knowing that there's nothing that separates us from that truth except ourselves. And so we let go of all of the no's. And we say to the divine, yes, yes, yes. And it will say back to us what it always says, yes, thank you. I've been awaiting your arrival, your awakening, your knowing. That is all it takes. And so I just give thanks for everybody who was willing to play along, to be part of this, to know, to claim back that part of you that knew as a small child how great it was, that there was nothing that could stop it. Be that in the world. Hold that as your truth. head north, as they say. And so I just say thank you, God, for all of this and so much more as I turn these words over, knowing that as it is spoken, it is done. And so everything that was spoken here is done in the mind of God, manifested into form. Our only job now is to open up and receive. And so with that knowingness, I let go and let God, and together we say, and so it is. Thank you all. Namaste. Please